Now that you have decided to breastfeed, let's talk a little bit more about what breastfeeding will look like. Breastfeeding can be challenging for many reasons, but with some planning and a strong support system, you can breastfeed successfully. This video will cover how to help baby latch onto the breast, making a plan to return to work or school, and how to build up your breastfeeding support system. Most experts recommend feeding your baby for the first time within 1 and 2 hours of giving birth. Babies are born with instincts that will help them find your breast when they're ready to eat. There are several positions you can try to help your baby latch onto your breast. One of the first positions you might try is laying back with your baby, laying tummy down just below your breast. This position makes it a little bit easier for your baby to find their way up to your breast to feed. If laying back is uncomfortable for you or your baby, there are plenty of other positions to try, including the cradle hold, cross cradle hold, and clutch hold. For all these holds, it is important to make sure you are supporting baby's head and neck and that baby tummy is turned inward against your body. You can also use pillows or cushions to support your arms and shoulders. For the cradle hold, position your baby so their head is on your forearm and their body is facing yours. This simple hold is comfortable for most moms and babies. However, it should not be used for newborns as it doesn't provide enough support for them. For the cross cradle hold, hold your baby with the arm opposite from the breast you are using and support your breast with the same side hand. For example, if you are offering the left breast, hold baby with your right arm and support your breast with your left hand. Turn the baby in so their body faces yours. For the clutch hold baby at your side with their back on your forearm. This is sometimes called the football hold. If you have a C-section, you might find this hold more comfortable since baby will be away from your stomach. No matter which position you decide to use, the most important thing is to make sure your baby gets a deep latch onto the breast. This allows the baby to get as much milk as possible and it will be more comfortable for you. An easy way to check whether your baby has a deep latch is to make sure they have most of the areola in their mouth. The areola is the dark circle around your nipple. You might feel a little bit of nipple soreness in the first few days of breastfeeding, which is normal. If you feel intense pain lasting more than 30 to 60 seconds, you might need help from a lactation professional.
My name is Bahare. You can call me Spring is my nickname. And she's my first baby. And my baby due is this week or next week. I'm taking online classes with a lady, which I introduced from the center to her. And every second Tuesday of each month, I have online classes with her, and she's helping me with breastfeeding. If I have any questions, she will be help me. And she's so sweet. She told me she can come to the hospital and help me too. We all have friends and family to have a baby. We saw it, but when you be a mother, it's totally different. These classes and online classes has helped me so much. I just want to say the new moms, breastfeeding is so good. If they can do breastfeeding, definitely they need to do. I feel good about breastfeeding.
Even if you need to return to work or school after your baby is born, it is possible to continue breastfeeding. One of the most common ways to do this is pumping, which can help keep up your milk supply to meet your baby's needs. We will talk more about pumping in the future video. If you don't have access to a pump or don't want to use a pump, you can still remove milk by hand pressing. Some mothers find this more comfortable than pumping, and it can be just as effective. Even if you do decide to use a pump, hand expression is still a good skill to have as a backup plan. To express milk by hand, spend a few minutes massaging your breast with your fingertips or a warm towel. Position your fingers behind the areola, press back toward your chest, and apply pressure to express milk. Alternate breast every few minutes and rotate the position of your fingers until both breasts are empty. It is best to talk to your supervisor or school advisor or counselor as early in your pregnancy as possible and find out how your workplace or school will support your breastfeeding goals. Tennessee has statewide laws that protect your right to breastfeed. You have the right to breastfeed in any public place where you will normally be allowed, such as stores, restaurants, and parks. When you are at work, your employer is required to provide you with the time in a private space other than a bathroom to breastfeed. Let's watch an example of a mother talking to her employer about her breastfeeding plans. Hi, Kat. Do you have a few minutes to talk?
Sure, what can I do for you?
Well, as you know, I'm pregnant and I have decided I want to breastfeed my baby. I'm going to need accommodations when I come back from maternity leave.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not going to work.
What do you mean?
Well, as you know, breastfeeding takes up a lot of your time, and we need you working, and we're slammed. And it's not really worth the effort anyway. I bottle fed both of my kids, and they're perfectly fine.
I guess you're right. I'm sorry for bothering you. This employer isn't very supportive of a mother's plans to breastfeed, and the mother doesn't seem very confident in what she's asking. Let's see how this conversation might have gone if the mother has stood up for her right to breastfeed. Hi, Kat. Do you have a few minutes to talk?
Sure, what can I do for you?
Well, as you know, I'm pregnant and I have decided I want to breastfeed my baby. I'm going to need accommodations when I come back from maternity leave.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not going to work.
What do you mean?
Well, as you know, breastfeeding takes up a lot of your time, and we need you working, and we're slammed. And it's not really worth the effort anyway. I bottle fed both of my kids, and they're perfectly fine.
I understand your concerns, but breastfeeding is really important to me. Experts recommend breastfeeding as the healthiest way to feed my baby, and I want you to give my child that chance.
Can't you just do that from home?
Actually, state and federal laws require that employers give their employees time and space to pump and work. If I don't pump on a regular basis while I'm away from my baby, I could be at risk for complications or my milk supply could decrease.
I guess we could try to work something out. Could you use the single-stall restroom?
According to the law, the designated pumping space cannot be a bathroom. When I pump, I'm making food for my baby. We wouldn't prepare food for ourselves in the bathroom, so why would I want to do that for my baby? All I need is a clean, well-lit private room with a door that locks.
How much time do you think you would need for this?
I'll need to pump every 2 to 3 hours, so probably 2 or 3 times during the workday. With the setup, pumping, and cleanup, it will probably take 30 to 40 minutes each time. I can come in a little bit earlier or stay later to make up for that time if needed.
I see. Well, I think we've got some time to work out all the details before you go on maternity leave. I'm glad that you were proactive and came to me with a plan so we're not scrambling when you come back from maternity leave.
I really appreciate your support and willingness to work with me. This will help to achieve my breastfeeding goals and give my baby the healthiest possible start. Wow, what a difference! Even though the employer was uncertain, the mother stood up for herself and explained to her employer exactly what she would need. Remember, you have rights as a breastfeeding mother. Let's hear from a mother who successfully continued breastfeeding after returning to work.
So my name is Lynette Harris. I have 2 boys, 6 and 2, and I breastfed my oldest for 9 months and my youngest for 1.5 years. Most moms think when they start work they have to stop, which that's not the case, because once you get your own routine for you and your baby that works, you can do it. Like, you can pump, go to work, and still take care of your baby. So you gotta set it to your schedule. Okay, you're at work for a couple hours, you gotta go pump, store the milk, and then work a little more, then go pump. So it was like, once you get into the routine, I think maybe like a week after doing it, I kind of got into the routine. I pump at this time, I store the milk, and make sure the daycare feeds them at this time, so we'll both be on the same track even though we're away from each other. So once you get that routine, I think it's like a lot easier than like people would expect. Like, you can't pump and work, it's gonna be difficult, but it's really not. Once you get your own routine for it, it's really not that bad.
You will likely find that breastfeeding is easier if you have a support system. Your partner or family members can help you out by preparing meals, running errands, and doing household chores while you and your baby recover and learn how to breastfeed.
Some of the ways that I have been able to be supportive for Sarah during this time is, this time around we've been pumping a lot more so that I can store breast milk and then be able to feed throughout the night some. I've been able to kind of take him and just try to get him down while she's working. So I think just being emotionally supportive too, telling her that she's doing a great job.
Having a supportive husband that kind of knows how to calm you down and, you know, that kind of thing, it's a huge help.
Sometimes it is just helpful to have someone to talk to about what you are going through, such as a friend, family member, partner, or a healthcare provider. There are several support groups where you can connect with other breastfeeding mothers, ask questions, and share tips and tricks. Tennessee even has a breastfeeding hotline, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now that you have decided to breastfeed, there's still a lot to think about. Here are a few questions to consider over the next several weeks. What kind of support do I need to reach my breastfeeding goals? How does my workplace or school support breastfeeding?